exploring the Pocono roads with Bri Dee for a unique way to enjoy the vibrant leaves this autumn. Taking aim at an adrenaline-filled adventure, how to get in on the action. Plus the stories from nonprofits selected to receive funding through Monroe County's largest single event fundraiser happening this month.
Taking flight to see the Poconos beauty from way up high. Meet the hosts with the most at this restored church and cottage resort, and tour the farm turned wedding venue with quite the view. And a Pocono perspectives with the man behind the railroad, which has brought countless passengers through this and other scenic parts of the Poconos.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the September episode of Pocono Mountains Magazine. I'm Brianna Strunk.
And I'm Deanna Fontanez. As the seasons are changing, we're getting ready for autumn and the award-winning fall foliage here in the Pocono Mountains.
And there are plenty of ways to take in the vibrant views, including by train, chairlift, zip line, or something as simple as hopping in the car for a scenic ride on our back roads.
And you can do just that here in the Poconos with a twist. We're going to check in with our co-host Jim a bit later, but first we're going to take you on another adventure with Bri Dee.
Hi, I'm Ian. Welcome to Pocono Slingshot Rentals. So a Slingshot is a three-wheeled convertible car, like a sports car. It's a mix between a motorcycle and a car in that you have no doors. You got the open air always flowing on you. It drives just like a car though, steering wheel and pedals. So no expertise in motorcycles needed to drive it. So most of our customers have never driven these before, so we always give everyone an orientation on the vehicles, show how it all works. Starting with the glove box here. We got all these different suggested routes. The QR codes there, you scan them and that sets you up in Google Maps on the route. That way you don't got to plan the day ahead of time. You can just show up and we got everything taken care of for you. Storage behind the seats. Perfect size for the helmets. We provide helmets at no additional cost for the rentals. They are required. You can either bring your own or use ours. So you do use your handbrake when parking these vehicles. They are a nice easy push start though, so just foot on the brake, press the start stop button there, that fires the vehicle up. And then you got buttons for drive, reverse, and neutral, so you can easily just put it in drive or reverse and go on your way.
Anything else we need to know before we get on the road?
That kind of covers everything. Like I said, it's going to drive just like a car, so you don't need, to be able to drive a motorcycle to ride one of these. Really just a standard driver's license is all it takes.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Our season runs from May through October. You got spring, summer, and fall, so you got all the different kind of changes with the leaves there throughout the seasons. Fall is one of the best times to come take the slingshots out because you get to take in all the different colors that are changing with the leaves and everything. The weather's really nice, you don't got the sun beating on you too much, and it makes for a really great time. Jim Thorpe, one of our most popular destinations, is a really nice little town. You can stop, walk the streets, do some shopping, check out the sights. So mostly it's couples going out or groups. You can do bachelor parties. It's really great for any kind of group or family events since we have multiple vehicles. Each vehicle sits two, so it is really perfect for couples. So prices start at only $99 for a 2-hour rental, but we do really any length rental with our most popular being 4 hours. Requirements are you gotta be 25 years or older to rent and drive the Slingshot. We do have a minimum passenger age of 10 years old, so if you had any kids that wanted to join you for a rental. So we've been doing stock car racing experience where you can ride or drive the NASCARs at Pocono Raceway for the past 25 years now. Back in 2016, we saw those Slingshots and thought those would be a great addition to our business in the motorsports industry. So if anyone's interested in stock car racing experience, they can visit that online at 877stockcar.com. That's where you can ride or drive NASCAR-style race cars at Pocono Raceway. You can either do a passenger seat ride-along, or we'll teach you everything you need to know, and you get out there driving a NASCAR race car at up to 160 miles per hour around Pocono Raceway. So we have a bunch of different suggested routes because most of our customers are coming from out of the area. They don't know their way around, so we created a bunch of different routes that are really nice scenery, windy roads to really experience the handling of the Slingshot. We have ones that take you to lakes, over rivers, through state parks.
Wow, this is so much fun.
I had such a blast driving. It's such a cool experience.
And it's not too late for you to have this experience too. Once again, the season runs from May through the end of October. You can learn more and book your ride at PoconoSlingshot.com.
We hope you enjoyed coming along with us for this ride, but we're going to go see a little bit more scenery. See you on the next Bri Dee.
We really do find some of the best hidden gems all across the Pocono Mountains on Pocono Mountains Magazine, including right here, some cottages and a renovated historic church. We'll take you on a tour of this beautiful property in the Pocono Mountains coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine. The contrast of the different seasons here in the Pocono Mountains about to change from summer to fall. Come along with us as we take you on a tour of the beautiful Pocono Mountains by drone.
Pocono Mountains Magazine will be right back, but first, let's check out how the Poconos have been making the news lately.
The Pocono Mountains actually is the U.S. capital of indoor water parks.
CBS Philadelphia spent the day at Kalahari Resorts and Conventions in the Pocono Mountains, home to America's largest indoor water park where you can enjoy bathing suit season throughout the year. Yes, even this fall and winter. There's also shops, restaurants, a spa, family-friendly activities like the arcade, and spacious overnight rooms.
Excellent. Thank you.
The new Nesquehoning Regional Railroad Station is officially in operation. The Reading and Northern celebrated the occasion with a big crowd on hand before the steam locomotive departed on an excursion to a festival, with many passengers taking their first ride from the new Nesquehoning Station.
It's a lot for economic development from the hotels, the restaurants, the people that are spending the entire weekend in the area, and hopefully coming back as well in the future to not just only ride the train, but do whatever the Poconos have to offer.
And Keene Lake Camping and Cottage Resort celebrated its 70th year this summer with a beach party. The family-run camping and glamping resort has been run by the same family all these years. Congratulations to Keene Lake on the major milestone. And a job well done to the park rangers in the Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area, as well as volunteers with Cherry Valley National Wildlife Refuge for removing nearly 100 tires from a side channel into the Delaware River. They've certainly done their part to help pick up the Poconos.
The Swiftwater. The name is classic Poconos. Upon arrival, you realize this is hospitality you've never experienced. The feeling of chic, rustic elegance surrounds you. High-touch concierge service makes sure your stay is memorable. Enjoy crafted cocktails and savor rich flavors of the Poconos.
Find out what everyone in the Pocono Mountains is talking about at the beautiful Swiftwater. It's all part of visiting Pennsylvania, the great American getaway.
For a fun night out, come to the mountains, the Pocono Mountains.
Pocono Mountains Nightlife. Find yours at PoconoMountains.com.
Hi everyone, it's Jim Hamill, and every few months here in the Pocono Mountains, the seasons and the scenery changes. That includes right here outside the Visitor Center and train station in Jim Thorpe, also known as the Little Switzerland of America. And it's pretty easy to tell why. Check it out from way up high.
Jim Thorpe is nestled in the Lehigh River Valley, with those white waters carving their way alongside the railroad and D&L Trail. The streets of Jim Thorpe feature the kind of architecture that's straight out of the movies and is nearby to three friendly neighborhoods, Lehighton and Weisport also along the D&L Trail, and Lansford, home to the No. 9 coal mine and museum.
And so no matter if it's spring, summer, or fall, with such warm weather outside here in the Pocono Mountains, you can get outdoors here and have a lot of fun, including on the Pocono Beverage Trail at places like Farley Creek Brewing Company here in Tannersville. This is Pint-Sized Park, where you can swing for the fences.
Farther up the road is Camelback Resort. It features Camel Beach in the summer, Camelback Mountain Adventures too. Then transitions to tubing and skiing come the colder months. Check out Big Pocono State Park and Camelback from the drone's vantage point in summer. Compared to winter,
Another one of my favorite pastimes here in the warmer months in the Pocono Mountains is, of course, golf. And we have some of the best golf courses around, including right here, Woodlock Springs. 18 holes of championship golf. And the hardest hole on the course, number 3, a par 5.
From this perspective, you can see the homes woven into the forest at Woodlock Springs. The golf course, too, making for a challenging but rewarding round with fellow golfers. Drone pilot Zane Shupp was cautious taking flight, gaining a healthy respect for the region from a whole different point of view.
Flying drone out here on a golf course, especially one of this elevation and diversity, which Woodlock is known for, is very fun and a little nerve-wracking as well. Coming over this hole, there's a lot of elevation gain and loss. And that is absolutely something you have to consider when you are flying a drone, where that thing is going to exactly go. But like all the other areas around the Poconos, it is beautiful this time of the year. Everything is green and lush and full of surprises around every corner. And on a day like today, when it's in the 70s, it is absolutely beautiful out here.
As we mentioned earlier, the seasons do in fact change here all across the Pocono Mountains, and no better place to view that from than way up high here on Urban Cliff in Honesdale. Way up here you can see the small town of Honesdale, just like many other small towns throughout the area, where all of this green is eventually going to change color and shift through reds, yellows, oranges, vibrant colors of fall, for all the eye to see and enjoy.
The Poconos is well known as a destination for fall foliage, especially during midweeks when leaf peepers are more scarce. These are the kinds of views we're used to seeing across the region, around lakes, rivers, mountains, and small towns. In order to give you the best idea of when and where you can experience peak fall foliage, head to PoconoMountains.com/fall. You'll find our Fall Foliage Forecast, updated weekly, starting the first week of September. And be sure to tag us on social media with @Pocono Tourism and @Pocono TV Network, with those beautiful views of summer and soon fall. This has been Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network.
Hi everyone, it's Jim Hamill, and amongst these gorgeous ponds and the ducks that live on and around them are several cabins and even a renovated historic church here at Split Creek Preserve, Cottages and Resort. And its hosts, Valerie and Ross, they welcome you to come stay a while and enjoy the surrounding Pocono Mountain beauty.
It happens to be our neighborhood. And I was born and raised in this little vicinity. It was a property that was beautiful in the 50s and 60s, and unfortunately fell into disrepair over the last 30 years or so. And it became available. It was originally a Methodist church up until 1995.
Sitting in what once was the sanctuary of the former St. Luke's Methodist Church in Saylorsburg, Valerie and Ross Blakesley beam with pride for creating all of this around them. A 3-level renovated church with vibrant colors, comfortable layouts for family stays in any season and for any reason.
We want to be able to offer something for them that's unique, but they need modern conveniences today, so we have 6 full bathrooms in the place, as well as 5 bedrooms and some pull-out sofas and all the things that everybody wants today.
Once a church, now the corner at St. Luke's is just one aspect of the splendor that is Split Creek Preserve. There are 8 cottages and several ponds scattered across the property as well. And Ross takes special pleasure in feeding the ducks that call Split Creek Preserve home.
We have a 50-acre property, and what we did was there were existing lodging on the property, but they were in disrepair, so we decided to make the decision of tearing them down. With the township's permission, thank goodness, we were able to do that and built 8 new cottages. Again, people like the modern conveniences today as well as the serene, beautiful environment that we have. We have the ponds, we have the McMichael stream coming through the property. It's very picturesque.
Visit these modern, charming cottages and you'll soon learn the depth of appreciation from those who've stayed here before.
We have guests 7, 8 times that have come back in the last 3, 4 years. So we're very popular. We do make one major thing. When our guest first comes, we try in every major effort to meet them for at least 10 or 15 minutes. The meet and greet, and give them a face to the property. And that, if you read our journals, all our books that everybody signs a journal when they leave, we have thousands of people that have gone and want to come back. 100% come back. They're very, very happy.
Happy guests like Lynn and Bob Scott of Massachusetts.
Our stay at Lincoln Lodge was absolutely delightful. We spent time at wineries, visiting different downtowns, went horseback riding, biking, hiking, and so much more. It was always nice to come back to a clean, quiet, and comfortable place to relax after a busy day. There were even fuzzy blankets to curl up under, just like home.
Or Zoe and Adam from New Jersey.
Thank you so much for our stay. We had a great time exploring the trails and enjoying a little escape of peace and quiet from the city. Looking forward to another visit in the winter.
Whether it's outside by the ponds, the creek, and the cottages.
We provided a beautiful surroundings for people to stay and enjoy, and as well as be only 25 minutes from everything in the Poconos as well.
Or it's inside the vibrant walls and stained glass in the historic church, where memories carry on in a whole new light.
It brings us joy to have people come with families and friends and really enjoy everything that we could provide.
It provided a lot of happy and sad times for families.
Well, sure, because it was weddings, funerals, everything.
Want to take a look of your own? Head to PoconoMountains.com and look for Split Creek Preserve and Resort and click through the virtual tour on the listing. And be sure to meet the ducks, leave a note for Ross and Valerie, and plan to stay here soon. Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network.
Calling all adventure seekers, Deanna takes us to the perfect place to take aim at outdoor adventure this fall or even winter in the Pocono Mountains.
Outside in the gorgeous Pocono Mountains, we have this exclusive wedding venue, brand new for brides and grooms, with a lot just inside this renovated barn. We'll take you on a tour coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
This edition of Pocono Mountains Magazine is presented by St. Luke's Monroe Campus and East Stroudsburg University.
Oh, good. Good, you're here.
Now you've got the Poconos in the palm of your hand.
For places to stay and shop.
And stories about the Pocono Mountains.
Go to PoconoTelevision.com to download the app and get the information you need for your visit with us.
Hi everyone, it's Jim Hamill, and I'm stepping out here on the balcony of an old farmhouse here in the Pocono Mountains, which can sleep up to 14 guests. Those guests might be the bride and the groom and the family of those getting married here at Valley View Farm and Venue, north of Honesdale. This huge property is gorgeous and has been recently renovated here to host those types of family events like weddings, reunions, anniversaries. And it looks gorgeous from way up high and even down low here. So come along for a tour of Valley View Farm and Venue.
I love it, and what I love the most besides the building and the barn are the outdoor spaces, the gardens. So I am the landscaper. the weed picker, the planter, and then of course I have amazing help.
It's easy to see why Mary and Huntsberger fell in love with what would become Valley View Farm and Venue, and why couples, either starting their lives together or celebrating milestones, are choosing this spot for special moments.
You could just see not just the visual beauty, but the serenity and the calm that every season brings on this property. We have phenomenal neighbors, and everywhere you look, it's a feast for the eyes.
The whole property has been designed for weddings, celebrations, the kind of core memories that last a lifetime, and all while maintaining the feel and function of a farm in Wayne County. The owners have thought of each and every detail.
We have an orchard with 120 apple, peach, pear trees. We have about 120 chickens that range in the orchard. We have the barn. Second floor is our ballroom, and then we have an addition to the barn that encompasses catering kitchen, a groom space, and a third floor that is very bridal readiness. We hope it makes, you know, brides ooh and ah.
All right, we're gonna get a tour of Valley View Farm and Venue right now. Inside, Darla is part of the major success of this property here. And before anybody really gets into the heart and soul of this place, you have some beautiful artwork welcoming them here, right?
Yes, these are local artists from Wayne County Art Alliance. They are for sale. So.
And they're beautiful too against this white backdrop as well, and they really pop, kind of giving people a little bit of like flavor of the area and the culture.
Yep.
And the artists as well, but culinary artists too, right? Lead us into the kitchen.
Yes, this is our state-of-the-art kitchen. A caterer can make all the food here, which makes it so much better.
So around every corner, there's a beautiful space for the wedding parties and for all the guests. And this is a lot of light in here, right? What do you guys use this space for?
Yes, so this is mainly for cocktail hour. A lot of pictures are taken in this room. I guess it has really good light.
These are some of the pictures prior to
yes.
like the construction here. So it really goes to show what this barn was back in the day and now what it's been transformed into. There's a lot of work that went into that, as Mary pointed out.
Definitely. So this is the ballroom.
The ballroom, wow, what high ceilings, gorgeous wood floors, and obviously you can feel inside here too. It's got the air conditioning for any kind of weather.
Absolutely.
Indoors, beautiful setting here. 125 people you could fit in.
Yes.
And Darla, tell us then too, your daughter's having a wedding here. How excited are you for this?
Oh my gosh, so excited. So she's getting married next year, October 4th, and this will be her venue. We're so thankful. So this floor is for the groom and his guys.
Ah, you're speaking to me right now, Darla. Look at this setup.
Hang out, get ready. Nice spot for to have their snacks.
I envision a few cocktails being had here just to take the edge off, guys,
Definitely
right?
Cocktail. This is for the bride and her ladies, the moms.
Right. A lot of bright, airy space here because there's a lot of makeup that gets done up here.
Yep, as you can see, we're all set up. We have a
no joke right there.
little beauty parlor here.
That is really nice, yeah.
So their hair and makeup people come and they hang out up here.
Outside the barn, though, you have even more space and probably some of the best views for people to enjoy, whether it's cocktail hours or the ceremony itself, right?
Yep, they can use the space for whatever they want. They can get married under the tree, and then everyone can come up here for cocktail hour, and then they can go up to the ballroom.
Right.
Whatever they want. It's covered, so we don't have to worry about weather.
Yeah.
So it works out really well.
It's gorgeous. What a venue, what a farm in the valley with a view, right?
Yep, absolutely.
We have one wedding a weekend, and that we believe really gives families the opportunity to celebrate what should be celebrated. You know, love and lasting commitment and the togetherness that a wedding brings. And we're pretty proud of it.
Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network.
Still ahead, from giving help to receiving it. Hear the stories behind 3 organizations being honored this month for their impactful work in the community. Plus, Chris Barrett is talking coins and trains with Andy Muller from the Reading and Northern Railroad. You'll want to stick around for this amazing story coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
Backed by popular demand at the Wayne County Fairgrounds.
Come to the 2nd annual Honesdale Beer and Wine Fest.
Presented by Honesdale Rotary.
Sunday, October 13th, and we got tons of food vendors too. Let's not forget about the ton of breweries that we have here and fantastic beer.
And don't forget about the wineries and distilleries.
Live music, 3 amazing bands.
Get your tickets at HonesdaleBeerAndWineFest.com.
In the Pocono Mountains, a new season is just around the corner.
And no matter what the season, there's always something exciting happening. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. The 4-season Pocono Mountains. Visit us at PoconoMountains.com.
Since 2004, the Pocono Mountains Community Fundraiser has raised more than $3 million for local nonprofits as Monroe County's largest single event fundraiser. This September's event, hosted here at Mount Airy Casino Resort, features samplings from some of your favorite Pocono restaurants. And the Pocono Television Network is proud to introduce you to this year's 3 recipients. Take a look.
2-year-old Leonardo is happy and healthy, playing with other kids in the classroom.
He loves it.
Leonardo's mom, Lee Marie, enrolled him in the infant and toddler program through Pocono Services for Families and Children, serving Monroe County for 60 years. The program provides eligible families with low cost or in some cases free childcare based on household income. There is a growing wait list.
Childcare is really expensive, so when I found out of the opportunity of, being able to get assistance, it just worked perfectly.
Serving more than 300 individuals from birth through age 24, in addition to the infant and toddler program, PSFC also operates a Head Start preschool program and youth empowerment services, providing career connections and summer employment opportunities.
It's rewarding, especially since we get to see our children develop from the cradle to career. We've had children who've started off as infant and toddlers who have really ventured into our youth empowerment services. Knowing the family for that long, you really build like a bond and a relationship.
Pocono Services for Families and Children has this location in East Stroudsburg, another at the Mountain Center in Tobyhanna, plus Head Start programs in 2 local elementary schools. And they hope to expand to help even more families in need. Kids also receive free nutritious meals and have access to behavioral support if needed. There are resources for parents, too.
Our parents have a family advocate who partners with them to maybe find a job, any housing issues, they receive that support. We do home visits where we could really sit down with the parent, create goals and create the necessary steps for them to achieve their goals.
Without the infant and toddler program, Lee Marie says she wouldn't be able to work full-time or generate income for her family. Plus, little Leonardo would have missed out on socialization and other important skills he's learning in the classroom.
So we're super grateful for that.
An opportunity for kids and their families to grow and thrive. Meet Lisa Latham, a retired teacher who spends her free time helping people.
And I just love it. It fills my heart to do it.
People like Kathleen Benham, who was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2017 and relies on daily lunch and dinner deliveries from Monroe County Meals on Wheels. Even her best bud, Raven, gets a treat.
And even to try to go to the supermarket, I get exhausted, overwhelmed, just trying to walk around with them, shopping for myself. I usually order online sometimes, so it's great to know that I don't have to cook and especially cooking just for one person.
5 days a week, volunteers use their own vehicles to deliver meals to nearly 300 elderly, homebound, and disabled Monroe County residents over the age of 18. There are fixed routes covering every corner of the county. And no matter what the weather brings, there's always a plan in place to make sure no one goes hungry.
The organization also offers a pet program with cat and dog food, plus can provide financial assistance for veterinary care. There's also this pantry with access to household and hygiene essentials.
There's a lot of pockets of this county that are very rural, very remote, and a lot of our clients, the volunteer that delivers to them might be the only person they interact with that day or even that week. So our volunteers are critical on that front for the human connection to help prevent that loneliness, that social isolation.
Back on her delivery route, which usually includes 15 to 20 stops, Lisa has developed many friendships since she began volunteering last year.
I really feel like a connection with them. One of them passed away recently, and it was really difficult to process it. But you're helping other people.
People like Kathleen, who continues her fight against breast cancer through oral chemotherapy and looks forward to that daily doorbell ring.
The reason to get out of bed, to know I have to be down and get the meal, otherwise I just never get out of bed.
Delivering not just hot meals, but hope to those who need it most.
If I have to go along a wall, it will tell you this.
These days, 87-year-old Howard Dickinson III relies on a special cane and lenses to get around. In 2017, he developed glaucoma, causing him to lose his driver's license and sense of freedom.
So when that happened, that was like the end of the world here in the Poconos. So what would I do?
But Howard, who served in the Army during the Cuban Missile Crisis, is back on the road again thanks to Sights for Hope, which provides transportation to those with visual impairments. Throughout the week, drivers like Kareem Harvey take clients to their medical appointments or to run errands. They can also help with tasks like reading labels in the grocery store or scheduling doctor visits.
It's rewarding for me to help somebody else out. It's more than money. And over time, I got to know the clients pretty well. I refer to them as my big brother, my cousin, my brother from another mother. They're all family.
The organization also offers a low vision store where clients can purchase specialty items like safe knives, talking watches, and phones with big buttons. After Helen Keller challenged the Lions Club to become Knights for the Blind, Sights for Hope formed locally in 1928 and serves about 700 people today across Monroe County and the Lehigh Valley.
A lot of times people come to us when they're at a very low point in life. They feel like there's nothing left, and they're not sure how to live. And here at Sights for Hope, we give them that hope that they can get back to the things that bring them joy.
Howard agrees. He went from feeling isolated to independent. He also enjoys the educational resources and opportunities to socialize with others who struggle to see.
When you're an old man, you can't go anywhere. You can't do anything the way you want to. And, that's the bane of being in a rocking chair. You got no future. But my future is here with my friends. I help them, they help me. It's a mentoring of each other.
Gaining freedom and friendships, 1 mile at a time.
Congratulations to all three organizations receiving funding from this year's 21st annual Pocono Mountains Community Food Fest fundraiser, being held here at Mount Airy Casino Resort Tuesday, September 10th. Visit pmcfevent.com for more information, and to get your tickets, contact TJ Price at the number on your screen. With the Pocono Television Network, I'm Brianna Strunk.
Meet me on the field for some fun coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
East Stroudsburg University. Dozens of degree opportunities, taught by exceptional faculty. Exciting campus life and the beauty of the Poconos. ESU, where everything you want is closer than you think.
These might be small towns,
But they have a big town feel. Our small towns have fashionable boutiques like the Apple Tree.
And families are gonna love stores like Dunkelberger's Sports Outfitter. I think my son's gonna love this.
Our small towns are big on field. Find us at PoconoTelevision.com. You know I love to bring you along with me for adventures all throughout the Poconos. Well, today we're at the Paintball Asylum, and we're about to have some friendly competition on the field. Let's go check them out. Whether you're a pro paintballer or it's your first time, the Paintball Asylum will take care of you from gear to jumpsuits. Just pick the package that best fits your needs. So I'm here with Jose, manager of Paintball Asylum. So Jose, walking around looks so fun and amazing. So if someone's never been here, they know nothing about you guys. Just the sound itself is so exhilarating. Tell us a little bit about the place.
So here at the Paintball Asylum, we have a whole bunch of things any age group can do. Any family, anybody who's never done it or have done it throughout their whole lives. If you've never done it, paintball is an extremely easy sport to learn, extremely safe sport to learn. It's fast-paced, adrenaline-filled, and it's just all around exciting for everybody. Here at the Asylum, we offer a lot of different sports as far as paintball, so that's ages 10 and up. And we also introduced a Young Guns Jelly Ball, which is ages 6 and up. So I've seen 6-year-olds play with their grandparents. We also do airsoft, which we added in a couple years ago, and we're just growing bigger and bigger and bigger with everything that we're doing.
I love that because I feel like families are always wondering, like, hey, where can I take the kids? So this is like a perfect opportunity, like you said, from 6 to 60 to 106.
Absolutely, yes.
Now, another thing I wanted to ask you, this is great for bachelorette parties, but you said you do birthday parties, all that kind of stuff.
So we do bachelor parties, bachelorettes. I've had bridesmaids come in. I've had mixed bachelor and bachelorette groups or bachelor groups. We also work with a couple businesses in the area where we do packages where they would play here and then go to a brewery afterwards. No matter what sport we play here, jelly ball, paintball, airsoft, it's all about team building. It's working as a team, coming up with strategies, and the best part about it is a lot of groups mingle together that never seen each other until this day, and they get to come up with fun ways to play and turn out, a lot of them become friends after they're gone. I've seen 10-year-olds nervous, come by themselves, and make friends with a 50-year-old guy out there, and they're the best duo out there, and you know, they leave as best friends afterwards. So the sport really does bring a lot of different people together, and we're in a big tourist area, so a lot of traffics are coming through it, and a lot of people we get have never played paintball before. So we see it every day, and every day everybody has a great time with it. So
I feel like you guys are tucked away too, so it's kind of like a hidden gem. When people find your facility, it's kind of like a nice surprise.
Yes, we get a lot of people come in and say, oh, I've never seen this place before, and I've been to up the road, I've been skiing for the last 10 years. And that's always fun to see because they get to try something new in the area. They've been here for a while, and it's, oh, what do you guys have to offer?
Now, how many fields do you guys have on your property total?
Currently, we have 11 fields.
11.
And that's mixed between paintball, airsoft, and jelly ball fields.
I feel like going to do something fun with your family or your friends and like leaving with those memories are priceless. Like I think that's something that you can't pay for.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's what we're all about here.
So again, if people have never checked you guys out, where can they find you?
So you can always hit us up on our website. It's www.thepaintballasylum.com. Has all of our information on there, all the packages that we offer. We're also doing day trips now out of the city with March Bus. So transportation's not even a problem. If you don't have that, you can definitely go to Port Authority, take a bus right to our doorstep. We'll take care of the whole paintball event, and we'll even shuttle you back to the March depot to get you back to home.
And that's all on the website?
All on the website.
So if you guys are interested in that, definitely check out the website. Social media platforms?
Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, we're on it.
And what are your handles on there?
The Paintball Asylum.
Paintball Asylum. Thank you again so much for having me. I had such a blast today, and I feel like all the kids and the families that were here had a blast too. So I know they will definitely be back.
Awesome. Thank you for coming out.
I'm Deanna Fontanez for the Pocono Television Network. We'll see you next time.
Meet the man behind the popular passenger train rides in Jim Thorpe and find out how his career in railroads got on track. Coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
It's here! For real! It's St. Luke's Children's Hospital, ready to help all kids. They're keeping kids healthy, fixing us up, making us feel better, helping kids be the best they can be, because it's about us. The kids! It's St. Luke's Children's Hospital!
St. Luke's Children's Hospital is helping kids with everything, from routine checkups to specialized care.
It's here! It's great! Yeah!
It's the Pocono Mountains. We're in the fun business. With our fabulous water park resorts, when things are heating up, we're cooling you down. Our cutting-edge attractions are just so much fun, both indoors and out. You decide. Then completely unwind from that fun-packed day. 3 great water parks, all in one awesome place. The Pocono Mountains. It's in Pennsylvania, the great American getaway.
Most people that you know that are successful did not do it for the money. They do what they have a passion for, they're great at it, and you end up making money, you know? And that's what happened to me.
The Pocono Mountains is the birthplace to a Pocono wonderland of untold pleasure.
Winter in the Poconos, clear and crisp.
Called the land of the waterfall.
A recipe for romance.
So if we could, though, I want to go back to 1963. If I could. There were a lot of folks in a town, bank tellers, right, and bank managers who knew you.
Right.
Why did they know you?
Well, so my mother bought me coin books at Pomeroy's in Reading when I was like 10 years old. And I don't know, I just had an instant interest in history and coins. So in 1958, I got my first red book, which that's the book like the Bible of American coins. And I still have that book. And I started collecting coins. And I did it for fun, you know, just as a kid. I did it all through high school. I did it in college. They called me Coins at East Stroudsburg. And so as I was doing this, I realized that you could still go to the bank and find things, you know, everything wasn't picked out yet. So I basically grew up in the 2 banks in Hamburg, right? And everybody knew me. So as I was picking all these things out of the bank, I realized there's people who would buy this stuff. So in 1963, I set up in a sporting goods store just a couple coin cases and just started. On the weekends, I'd be there because I was in high school yet, selling coins, and that's how I started. So in 1966, I really started to expand the business, and I recognized that these Renninger's flea markets, that Schuylkill Haven, Adamstown, so there was one at Hometown. So in 1966, I rented a stand at Hometown. So I scheduled my classes that I was done on a Wednesday at 12 o'clock. I would drive every Wednesday from East Stroudsburg to Hamburg, pick up my coins, go up to Hometown, set up a stand from like 3 to 8, buy and sell coins. Then I'd pack everything up, bring it back to Hamburg, and drive back to East Stroudsburg. I did it every Wednesday night when I was a sophomore, 66. And that was really the start of my business. And then I started, and then I got a stand in Schuylkill Haven, coin stand there, and it just kept growing. And then one day I had an epiphany, and I'm realizing that if your mom walks into a store with a coin that's worth $100, in 90% of the stores, because it's unregulated, if they can buy it for $10, they'll do that. And I had an epiphany, and I said, you know what, I'm going to buy it all. I'm going to make sure nobody buys anything. I'm going to buy everything. I'm going to make it so rough on these other coin dealers they can't do business. When silver coins, they started to melt silver coins. So you buy a bag of silver coins, it's 1,000 face value. That's 4,000 quarters, 10,000 dimes, 2,000 halves, right? So I started buying those bags of silver from the general public because everybody had a grocery store, a grandmother, grandfather, they threw all this silver aside. So all people that had no money had all this silver because it was just spending money and they were smart enough to save it, right? So silver went to like $1,100 for a $1,000 bag. That was like right early when they started melting it. I started paying $10.90, working on nothing, because I could drive to New York and deliver it to Iron Mountain for nothing with my car. So when I was paying $10.90, everybody else was paying $10.10, $10.20. So I realized I could buy it all. So I built this business throughout the 70s by paying the last nickel for everything. I made virtually no money, but I was building because I have a long-term perspective on everything I do. You can see it on the railroad. It's all a long-term perspective. I don't go quarter to quarter. I don't care. In October of 1979, I was doing so much business that I got investigated by the Organized Crime Strike Force, the Postal Authorities, the FBI. Everybody from Philadelphia was coming into my store because they thought I was laundering money, because I did $55 million worth of cash business in October of 1979. That's like $500 million today. In 1 month, 55 million. And they wouldn't believe this, right? And then there was a lot of more complications to it. Well, then I became friends with all these guys at the FBI and at the Postal Service. So then I became an expert witness on counterfeits. So I did a lot of testifying in Philadelphia. So I made friends with all these guys that came in most likely to arrest me in the beginning, right?
So now you're still operating the coin business.
Oh, my son does a couple $100 million a year. Wow. Okay. Well, we're big because we paid all the money, and over time, just like I feel I built a reputation at Jim Thorpe for running a quality operation with quality people. People notice that. It takes time. You have to have a long-term perspective. I built that reputation in the coin business. Everybody knew Muller. Most of my business was dealers. They were coming from New York, Philadelphia, Syracuse, Washington. That's why the FBI and the Organized Crime Strike Force thought I was laundering money, because they said, there's no way you can do this kind of business in Hamburg. I had a day in November of 1979, I made $350,000 in one day. Because I did something that other big dealers didn't do. I never hedged anything. So the one day, I'm sitting on, I don't know how many ounces of silver, and the market jumps $5 in one day. And then every day I was making money, because what happened was, what I did with the silver bags, what nobody else would do, I took them to New York for almost nothing. But then when silver went up to $25,000, $27,000 a bag, I said, nobody else can compete with me now. So that's when I was making money. So I was making $1,000 a bag, and I had days I bought 100 bags a day. Nobody knew what I was doing except, like the government officials, right? Like nobody in Hamburg even knew what I do. They see all the people going on. They didn't know what I was, And then when I went to join the Masons, somebody accused me of being a drug dealer. I almost didn't get in the Masons because, well, I made all this money, and they thought I had to be doing something. And I convinced them that, I've never done drugs. I don't like drugs. And I ended up getting in the Masons back then. But, nobody had any money. Now you hear billionaires and millionaires. And in the 70s, nobody had any money. The richest people in your town maybe had a few $1 million. They owned a silk mill, and they were collapsing. There was no money around. And I had millions in cash. And I was 33 years old when I quit and retired.
So you could have stayed retired very easily, right?
Oh, I never had to work again. I hit the silver just right, and as soon as I got out of the business, I put all my money in bonds, bills, T-bills and notes. Well, the interest rates just went through the roof, right? And I bought all short term, so I didn't lose anything. I just kept buying and buying. I had bonds that were paying 16%. That was the high. They paid about 16.5. I had a 20-year bond that I just got rid of in 2006 that paid 16%, 16.5% from 1986. So I made every move right there. I wasn't working. I wasn't doing anything. And I just put all my money in treasuries, and that went through the roof. I made more million. So basically, there were a lot of young guys that made money like I did, right? We were all married. We were all now sort of slowing down because you're burned out. You just couldn't do anymore, right? I was burned out. I was working 7 days a week, every day. I was buying silver at midnight on Saturdays. I hardly slept, And so I just quit. I had enough. I couldn't do it anymore. So now here you got a 33-year-old guy with millions of dollars. So I'm sitting in a bar room one night, and this guy yells down from the other bar. He says, Muller, they're tearing the railroad on in Hamburg. You should buy it. You have lots of money. I said, what?
And did you like railroads at the time?
Oh, I would play with trains my whole life. Yeah. So I said, really? They shouldn't be tearing these railroads out. That's not right. We need these railroads. So I went home. I got my honey. I said, come on, we're going for a walk. Went to Hamburg. We walked the railroad. I said, I'm buying this. Just like that. I called the Penn Central Corporation, and I offered them a certain price. And they said no, and there was no traffic on the railroad. There were actually some trees growing up in it. But I knew I could turn this thing around, right? So the Penn Central says, well, no, this is a working railroad. I had it appraised, and For the 13 miles, they appraised it at like $300,000. So I offered Penn Central $300,000. And he says, no. He says, this is a working railroad. I said, well, there's trees growing up in it. Well, the state of Pennsylvania is paying us $1.2 million. Well, what the Penn Central Corporation did was the railroads that were taken out of the final plan, they went to the state and they said, if you don't buy them, we'll tear them out. So they blackmailed the state. So the state goes and buys it for $1.2 million, right? Well, I did my homework. I found out they needed a designated operator because they don't operate the railroads, right? So I went to Harrisburg and literally kissed a lot of ass, and they designated me as the operator. So the state leased it to me for $1. So now I had my $300,000. I had the railroad. We formed a shippers group, and a couple businesses started using the railroad, and that's how I first got started. And the first year, I had 3 employees, and we did 80 carloads. And then I realized that Conrail was going to sell a lot more railroads. And I made a rule, though. If it wasn't connected, I don't want it. And I'm not buying anything unless it's within like 75 miles of my house. Because I could have bought railroads in Nebraska, Wyoming. Nobody wanted them. There were so many railroads sold for $1 because there was so much capital improvement needed, right? Because they had deferred maintenance for years. So you buy them for $1. And then you go to the government and get capital money to help you. And then in 1986 or 87, over in the Perkiomen Railroad, the Emmaus Railroad, the Kutztown Railroad, and the Boyertown Railroad, these are all little short lines. The guy that was operating those fell down. And I had made some friends in the Senate, and this one senator called and said, Mueller, get over there and operate those railroads. So they gave me 4 more state railroads. So the state said to me in 1990, if you buy the Reading cluster, and that's everything from Reading to Pottsville, Tamaqua, we'll give you a $6 million grant to put ties in and help you. And that's what they did, and that's what really got me started in 1990. So that took my mileage from 50 miles to 175 miles. I bought 40 miles in 1992. I bought 101 miles in 1996. I bought another 18 miles in 98. And that's altogether, it's between 300 and 400 miles.
I think it's really important to say that you've taken money out of your own pocket. So it's not only that the state help you, but you invest
Here's
a
what
lot.
I do differently. I have a long-term perspective. And this is what I play with. This is my model railroad. I spend money on things nobody in the right mind would. I mean, nobody would build these passenger stations and run these trains like I do. I don't make much money. I make money at Jim Thorpe. That's pretty good, right? On the daily trains. But, running out of Pittston, I'm building a complete passenger facility in Esquehoning that would millions and millions of dollars. Nobody would do that.
But you're doing so much to preserve the history of railroading.
Well, that comes along with it.
Right.
Because there's so many people love the trains, love the history, and that's been a great support. But that's the sideline of it. I mean, obviously, you can't do a multi-million dollar business for the history. Right. But because it's my passion and it's what I like to do, it ends up being a big part of it.
Well, Andy, this has just been such a joy talking to you, and I think we've learned a lot. But before we go and before we end the interview, I want to ask, what piece of business advice would you have for somebody who came to you and said, Andy, what's the best business advice you would have for me? What would you say?
Well, I'll tell you what I want on my tombstone. He was fair. But take a long-term perspective and treat people fair. Run a business that you would send your mother to. Think about that one.
That's a good one. I think we're going to end on that, but you're watching the Pocono Television Network. This has been Pocono Perspectives, and we were very fortunate to speak with Andy Mueller. And guess what? He's a serial entrepreneur, and he's done things in his life that he's loved, and he's been greatly successful. And we're grateful for the time that we've had with him. I'm Chris Barrett for the Pocono Television Network. Thanks for watching.
Like a beautiful train ride or a ride in one of these slingshots. Remember, you can enjoy the beautiful views of the Pocono Mountains so many different ways.
Yes, to plan your upcoming trip, head to PoconoMountains.com/fall. There you'll also find our fall foliage forecast updated weekly so you can see exactly where and when the leaves will be at their peak. For Deanna, myself, and Jim, thanks for watching this September episode of Pocono Mountains Magazine.
We'll see you next month.